What's going on, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Knicks Recap podcast. I'm your host, Troy, and you could be anywhere in the world this afternoon, but you chose to be here with me, and I really do appreciate that. Now, we're coming to you with some breaking news. This is a quote-unquote emergency live stream. We knew it. We knew it was going to happen. It was only a matter of time. Once the Knicks hit the offseason, they had a number of decisions they needed to make. And one of those decisions was going to be about Mikal Bridges and that contract extension. And we were waiting and waiting and waiting. And now the waiting is over. Mikal Bridges got paid. He got a massive new contract from the Knicks. 4 years, $150 million. Now, if that sounds a little bit less than his max extension, you're right. It is less. He took less money to stay with New York. And we're going to break down his contract extension, why he took less, and why he wants to stay with the Knicks. If you're enjoying the content, please hit that subscribe button and make sure you have notifications turned on so you don't miss any new content. And now, let's get started. The Knicks re-signed Mikal Bridges. That's right. You heard it here. We have breaking news, everybody. According to ESPN's Sean Charania, the Knicks have re-signed Mikal Bridges to a massive 4-year, $150 million contract. And now he is going to be staying with the Knicks for the next foreseeable future. But what does that mean for the rest of the roster? Potentially, what could it mean for Mitchell Robinson, his extension, and his future with New York? We're going to talk about that and break down what that means a little bit later on in the show. But for right now, we have to celebrate and talk about Mikal Bridges, who just got paid. Let's break down these latest reports from Shams, Ian Bagley, and Fred Katz. As you can see here, Shams states the following. New York Knicks forward Mikal Bridges has agreed to a 4-year, $150 million contract extension with the franchise. This new deal includes a player option for the 2029-2030 season and has a trade kicker. Now, that is important to understand when you're talking about the Knicks and the moves they're going to be making in the future. Maybe you're thinking they're going to include Mikal Bridges in a deal. If they do that, it's important to note he has a player option for 2029-2030, and he also has a trade kicker. This is what every team in the NBA is going to be looking at if and when they look to trade for him down the line, if it's even a possibility. Now, the Knicks could have given Mikal Bridges $156 million over 4 years. That's the max extension that he was owed. He could have gotten that. But as we all saw, he didn't take that. Instead, he took $6 million less, signed for $150 over 4 years, and he chose to stay with the Knicks. But why did he take less money? What was the reasoning behind him making that decision? Well, Shams has us covered for that as well. He states the following. Mikal Bridges took a slight discount from his max extension number, $156 million, in order to help the Knicks have flexibility to continue building the roster and add pieces to the Eastern Championship contender. That's exactly why Mikal Bridges took a little bit less. He took less to give the Knicks more flexibility to build out this roster. Not only this season, but for the next seasons as well, too. For next season, the season after that, all of these seasons. It also helps the Knicks in future seasons stay below the second apron. Right now, what is the league ruled by? The new CBA. No team wants to be a second apron team. Not the Knicks either. They're trying to fight in each and every way possible to avoid that second apron. And Mikal Bridges doing this, it absolutely helps them fight off that second apron in the upcoming years. But there's also more information on why Mikal Bridges chose to take this contract extension with New York. Because if we all remember, Mikal Bridges could have bet on himself. He could have not signed an extension, bet on himself, and then if he did really well, next offseason, he could have been in store for a massive contract extension, either from the Knicks or another team. But he didn't do that. Instead, he chose to sign today, now, this year, for significantly less. If he had waited, he could have gotten so much more money. But he didn't wait. He chose to sign this contract extension today with the Knicks for a little less money. Now, yes, he did it to help the Knicks avoid the second apron, get more flexibility to build out this roster. But he did it for another reason. He loves the Knicks, he loves New York, and he wants to win here. Shout out to Ian Bagley for breaking down this following information for us and giving us all of this information here. According to him, Bridges' deal at less than the max extension that he was eligible for gives the Knicks more financial flexibility moving forward. According to Bagley, Mikal Bridges wants to be here and wants to win here. That's at least according to one league source close to the situation. Mikal Bridges could have signed a 4-year, $156 million max deal, but agreed to 4 years, $150 million. If Mikal Bridges waited until free agency, Bridges could have signed the deal for as long as 5 years and significantly more money, giving the Knicks added financial flexibility. Starting with the summer when Bridges' extension kicked in was an important part of the deal for both sides. Jalen Brunson also agreed to an extension a year before he was eligible for a mammoth contract extension in free agency. That added financial flexibility, and the flexibility from now, Bridges' extension, will help the Knicks in this second apron era of team building. This is what the Knicks are doing. It's all about the cap. It is all about the apron. And it's more than that for Mikal. You know it is. He could have waited. Why not? Why not wait? You think Mikal doesn't think he's going to play better basketball under Mike Brown? Somebody who wants the wings that he has on this team, who's excited to utilize them. Mikal Bridges could have a monster year under Mike Brown. I think everybody knows that, including Bridges. So why agree now? Go back to a year ago. Why did Jalen Brunson agree? Why did he leave so much money on the table? But see, here's the thing. Brunson legitimately left that money on the table. We all knew he was going to be amazing next season. So we knew he was leaving money on the table. With Mikal Bridges, it's not exactly the same. We knew the level he could play for under a Tom Thibodeau-led Knicks team. But what about a Mike Brown-led Knicks team? How could he thrive there? How could he perform there? We really don't know. So we have no idea what that Mikal Bridges could look like. Maybe he's a lot better. And if he is, betting on himself would have been the better option for himself, his career, and obviously getting more money, getting a bigger bag. But the fact that he took this extension, is it really about the bag for Mikal? Was it about the bag for Jalen Brunson, who, by the way, continues to donate money to all of these foundations across New York City? I just wanted to throw that out there. Not only is he taking less, he's taking more of his money and donating it to the causes that matter. That's the captain. That's Jalen Brunson. But Mikal Bridges, he's doing his own form of what Jalen Brunson did, isn't he? He's taking less to help the Knicks remain flexible, gain that financial flexibility, and also avoid the second apron for many years to come. Jalen Brunson offered a similar effect when he took less. Now Mikal Bridges doing the exact same thing, walking in the exact same path as one of his closest friends, Jalen Brunson. That tells you something. It tells you that this core, a lot of these players, they want to stay together. They want to play together. They want to stay on the same team. They want to win. And if you want to win, is it always about the bag? Is it always about the money? Or sometimes, if you want to win, is it about sacrifice? Jalen thought it was about sacrifice, and he did that. Mikal Bridges, 150 over $4 million, $6 million less than his max. He could have gotten significantly more if he waited till next year. Didn't do any of that. Chose to go the Brunson route, take less, stay with the Knicks for a multitude of reasons. But the main one, I want to win here. I don't want to go to Phoenix. I don't want to go to Boston. I don't want to go to a Western Conference team. I want to stay in New York. I want to stay with this Knicks organization. I want to win a championship here. That means a lot, ladies and gentlemen. When you see star after star join the Knicks, they agree to take less because they understand the vision ahead, understanding where the Knicks need to be in the future and how we get there. You want to win championships? You want to win multiple titles? You want to create that type of dynasty that New York needs? Sacrifice. That's how you do it. Jalen knew it. He did it. Mikal knew it. He did it. And I think a lot of other players on this team in the same type of situation, they might do the exact same thing. And I am happy to know that we have players on this roster ready to make that sacrifice. Mikal is following along, and I am very happy with that. Now, before I break down more about what this means for the Knicks moving forward, Mitchell Robinson, all of these things, I see you guys in the chat. I see you guys going off. I got to go to you guys, see what you have to say, and get your comments about the Knicks extending Mikal Bridges to a massive 4-year, $150 million new contract. Go into the chat. Dimitri says, how does this extension impact Mitchell Robinson and his extension? Well, I am going to get to that a little bit later on, but I'll give you a little tip here. The Knicks could not offer, well, of course they did. They offered Mikal Bridges 150. If they wanted to retain Bridges and Robinson, the best way for them to do that would have been to give Mikal Bridges a 3-year deal. Now that they've given him a 4-year deal, even though it's $6 million, a little bit less, they still have to work out a few kinks. Now, is it possible for them still to retain Robinson? It is. It depends on what Robinson wants to agree to in terms of an extension, but it also depends on how bad Mitchell Robinson wants to stay part of this team and how bad Leon Rose and this Knicks front office want to keep him part of this team, because they could make some moves on this roster, take away some of this roster salary, and still be able to keep Mitchell Robinson. But if I'm thinking out loud here, Mikal Bridges staying with this team likely means Mitchell Robinson is leaving this team. Now, I'm not saying right away, but I'm thinking Mitchell Robinson's last season with New York is this season, 2025, 2026. Anything could happen. He could show out. He could play the entire year fully healthy, impress everybody in New York, and maybe gets an extension that way. Or the opposite could happen. And I think the Knicks, instead of guaranteeing anything right now for themselves, They're going to wait. And I think that's smart. Let's see here. Jonathan says, the midnight captain clutch Brunson Burner Express cares about the community. He does. He does, man. He does. Mikal Bridges does. Khadiza says, what impact do you think this will make to the Knicks second apron? Well, it saves them a lot of money moving forward. Because think about this. The extension's wasn't going to kick in anyways right now. It was going to kick in next year. Once it kicked in, that was going to add to the Knicks and their salary at that time. Now, instead of adding, I don't know what it would have been. It definitely would have not have been what it is going to be right now per year. But if he would have waited and gotten that max extension next year, New York, they would never be able to afford him. They would never be able to afford this entire roster and keep them together. Now that he's signing for 150, because I think people don't understand where the level is. Here's where I think you guys should understand what Mikal Bridges could have had. OG Anunoby's contract. You guys remember what it is, right? Around 210, 212 million, something like that, right? Over 5 years. That is exactly the contract Mikal Bridges could have gotten from New York if he had waited. Something similar around that. So now you're telling us that instead of getting that, he's now getting 4 years, 150. He's making significantly less money. That means the Knicks have a lot larger of a gap between the second apron and where they are. So it's very important moving forward with any roster move that they're going to make. We also have to remember the cap normally always increases. So that helps the Knicks from a year-to-year basis, but it won't help them if they're paying all of these players so much money each and every year. So players taking a little bit less, adding a little bit less to the cap every year, that's how you operate and build in this new era of the CBA. Avoiding that second apron, it's what every team wants to do, really. Let's see here. BDP says, let's go Bridges, baby. Shout out to you, Recap. Appreciate the updates on all things Knicks as always. Hey, my guy, I appreciate you. You know how I got to do, man. I got to hold it down for the community. Anytime I see an update, I know it's worth going live for, or I know it's important. I know it's something worth investing in. You know I'm going to do it for the community. I got to show out. But first of all, talking about showing out, where's my Red Cup gang at? Where you guys at? Mikal just signed a 4-year, $150 million deal. Can we get some cheers? Red gang, come on. Let's go. Carl Knight says, if you really think about it, Mikal Bridges actually a $146 million pay cut if he had waited till next offseason. Nah, not really. Because he would have, if he signed next offseason, he would have hit the cap right then and there. So extending him now does nothing. It doesn't affect our cap now. He's not extending for that amount now. He has a year left. Once that year is over and his new contract kicks in, that's what we're going to see right now. Remember, he had another year left. Did not have to extend right now. So we have to understand that extension is not going to kick in right away. It really didn't matter. The thing was for them is they wanted the extension to kick in now so they wouldn't have to worry about if he did play better next year, they would have to give him a lot more money. Now they don't have to. My guy, Great Britain, $5 super chat. My guy, thank you, man. Mickey 5 Pick says, definitely worth the extension off his performance against the Boston Celtics in the playoffs alone. This definitely what we need and on a discount as well. I got to agree with you, my guy. I really do. Signing Mikal Bridges after the Knicks gave up all of those picks to acquire him, I felt like it was almost inevitable that he was going to sign with New York. But one thing I wanted to mention here. Remember the update that I dropped on this channel a few weeks ago? I said it. I know you guys remember it. Mikal Bridges not getting an extension. One factor, Giannis. The fact that Mikal Bridges has been re-signed tells you it's likely that Giannis Antetokounmpo is staying in Milwaukee. He's not leaving. He's not being traded. Now, trade deadline next offseason, we can talk about it. But since Mikal has been extended now and he can't be traded for the next 6 months, yeah, it sounds like to me that the Knicks, they're not going to be doing any type of trades, not for Giannis. That brings me back now to Mitchell Robinson. The Knicks have 3 players that are eligible for an extension this season. I don't even think anybody even knows that. How many people know what players are actually extension eligible for the Knicks right now? It's Karl-Anthony Towns. It's Mikal Bridges, obviously, but no need anymore. He was just extended. And then it's Mitchell Robinson. But see, Mitchell Robinson isn't expiring at this point. And the money with him is always, it's hard to count, right? Injury concerns, injury history. Yes, he was amazing in the playoffs, but how do you adequate that to him missing half the season, basically, and then having to work his way back into game shape toward the end of the season into the playoffs? Of course, he was impactful in the postseason. We all know that. We've all seen it. But being impactful in the postseason, you still are needed in the regular season. And I think that's why New York is hesitant a little bit to actually give him any type of contract extension. Mikal is Iron Man. He doesn't get injured. It's almost, if you could get him for 150 over 4 years, it's kind of a steal, right? Because clearly New York feels that he's valued at a much higher rate than that. But they were able to lock him in for 4 years, 150. So from the Knicks standpoint, from their vantage point, it's a steal given the value they gave up to get Bridges in the first place. And I can understand that. But with Mitchell Robinson, what is his real value? He's likely the most valuable now than he's ever been in his entire career, given that postseason performance. But they can't afford him, ladies and gentlemen. They're going to have to pay so many players next year. Extensions are going to kick in. They're going to want to add new personalities, new players to this roster. Not everybody's going to be retained. And eventually, they're going to have to go younger. Not because they don't like Mitch. It's because the cap concerns, those cap restrictions, they're going to be real. And they're going to have to go to their rookies or their younger players so that way they can absorb their salaries, which are much less than, a Mitchell Robinson would be. Think about what Ariel Hukporti would be or Mohamed Diawara would be in their rookie years on a rookie deal, or even their second contract in the league. It probably wouldn't be very high. And that's exactly what the Knicks are banking on. Homegrown talent that they can develop into the next Mitchell Robinson at a significant discount. And I think this upcoming season, they want to see who else steps up in place for Mitchell Robinson, because I'm sure they anticipate Robinson will miss games next season. He will have to either load manage, he's injured, he's out, whatever. Somebody else is going to have to step in. And it looks like that other person, it might be Hukporti. Maybe some nights it is. And I think that's possible. I don't think we see a Mitchell Robinson extension. The fact that we just saw Mikal get extended, I don't think anybody else does. I don't see Karl-Anthony Towns getting extended. I think Mitchell Robinson, they're going to wait on. They're going to see what he can do next season. And based off of that and his performance, they'll dictate and decide what contract to give him. And that might motivate Mitchell Robinson to have his best year with New York. So I think it works out for both parties here. You motivate Mitch, you protect yourself in the event that you extend him and then he gets injured or something else happens. At least in this case, you get a chance to wait and see what Robinson can do. And I think that's really the right move to make here if you're in New York. Because when you're at this level, with the roster that you have, this close from a championship, you're limited in the moves you can make, but you're also limited in the mistakes you can make. If you're making mistakes with a championship roster, it only takes this much to watch it all go away, disappear instantly, as fast as you've created it. So there's no need to rush at it if you don't have to. Make the right moves when they're in front of you. Mikal was clearly the right move because they got him for less money than his max, which is already a win. And they locked them in for 4 years, helping them with the second apron, financial flexibility, and helping them sign other players in the future. I mean, Brunson did the exact same thing. Mikal is doing the exact same thing. I feel like everybody who's going to sign with the Knicks in the future is going to do this because everybody is doing this now because now everybody is doing this for New York. Credit to Leon Rose. Credit to the Knicks front office to be able to pull these type of moves off. Making players who are as good as Brunson and Mikal are take less money for the greater good, the vision of winning a championship, not even one, multiple championships. That's what your front office is supposed to do. That's what they're supposed to do. They're supposed to convince your talent to stay with the team, take less, and build a contender. Looks like that's exactly what we've done. I also want to go to Fred Katz and his update. I forgot to read this one earlier on, so I want to go ahead and make sure I get to it. Excuse me there. Fred Katz gives us the following information on Mikal Bridges and that contract extension. According to him, Mikal Bridges took less than his max extension because he wants to prioritize sustained success with the Knicks. This move gives the Knicks a better chance at possibly avoiding the second apron beyond the 2025-2026 years. Bridges signed a 4-year, $150 million, a 4-year, $150 million contract extension. $6 million total less than his max extension. Only players that want to stay in New York, that want to win with the Knicks, that are convinced that the place they're in right now, the franchise that they're in right now, are this close to a championship. It is only in those circumstances can you convince these great players to take less, stay with your team, and be committed to your team. And I want to make sure everybody hears this exact line from Ian Bagley from a source who is very close to the situation. Why did Mikal Bridges take less? He wants to be here, and he wants to win here. It may sound simple, may sound so obvious, but we need to say it because he didn't have to do this, but he did. Take less because you want to stay here. No, more than that. You want to win here. I'm sorry. I've watched basketball for my entire life. I've seen player after player wait to sign that max contract extension. Jalen didn't do that. Mikal didn't do that. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a very special roster on our hands. So special that they allow us to get into contention, still remain under the apron, and smiling all around because we have a legit chance to win the East. Thank you, Leon. Thank you, the Knicks front office. And thank you, Knicks Nation. Knicks fans all over the world. All of you guys knew, you believed, to some level you believed New York was going to be able to do the right thing. Leon was going to get it done. I mean, guys, I think Leon got it done and got it done efficiently, just like you knew he would. I wanted to end the show there, but you guys are going off in the chat. There is no way I can just stop now. And I got a super chat I got to go to. I mean, come on now. Come on now. Got to go back. Love you guys too much. Can't stay away. My guy Brian with the 199 super chat. I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. Whether we agree or disagree, and I do see you in the comments all the time, I appreciate you. I don't need everybody to agree with me, honestly. I don't care if anybody agrees with me. Disagreements help basketball conversation. The only thing I say is just keep it respectful. That's all. You want to disagree with me? You want to think my opinion is foolish? Say that. Foolish isn't a bad word. You want to cuss at me 7 times, that's a little bit different. You don't cuss at me, we're okay. Yuri! Appreciate you. Later, buddy. No Mikal hate in this stream. Appreciate you, Yuri. Sorry, bro. I can't hate on Mikal. He took less. He took less. Can't hate on him. There's no hate on Mikal. He took a pay cut to stay with New York. I love it. Toast to Mikal Bridges. Thank you so much. Thank you for taking less. You didn't have to do that. You really didn't have to do it, but you did. And from Knicks fans all over the world on this stream, thank you. Thank you for doing this. Now New York can have even more financial flexibility for the future. That's the point here. Let's see here. I think we got some people saying Troy is cool. Troy is the GOAT. Loving the content. Guys, please don't make me blush. I'm brown. If I blush, I turn purple. It does not work right, okay? Please. Don't do it. I appreciate you. Yuri said we had a troll in the chat. Oh, did we, Yuri? That's what it was. I appreciate you. That's my guy, Yuri, though. Don't play with my moderators in the house. When my moderator's here, you be on your best behavior. Because if you're not, he's going to check you. That's why I love Yuri, man. Make sure you check him out as well, too. Follow him. Give him comments. Give him praise, man. Paul says, go back, my guy, Troy. Devo. Oh, DiVincenzo. I wish. But he's not coming back right now. He's injured last I heard. Hope he feels better. I think he has a toe injury or something like that, whatever. I know he couldn't participate in the Euro basket. I know that was something he wanted to do, but he couldn't do that. Shout out to Dante. Hopefully he comes back one day. I don't know when. Hopefully one day, though. Let's see here. Pro says, Bridges does not help Brunson when it counts. I mean, under Thibodeau, he didn't. Under Brown, you might see something different. I think a lot of people are really not understanding what we're going to get from Mikal under Brown. And shout out to Great Britain for giving me another $5 super chat and giving us the following comment. Ewing3316. For Leon so loved the Knicks, he gave his only begotten godson the keys to the Madison Square Garden. Amen. Jalen. My guy wrote a Bible verse. I appreciate you. Turf toe. Thank you, Paul. I appreciate you. Paul was letting me know what Dante had an issue with. I appreciate that. Isaac says, do you think this is the last move of the offseason, or is there more to come? If there is more to come, what would that be? Very good question. There is more to come. We all know they have that final vet minimum contract still open there. That final vet still being there as well, too. Well, let me pause there for a second. My guy Harris, $20 super chat. I got to drink to that. Harris, my buddy, thank you so much, man. Thank you. I really appreciate that. I really do. That means a lot. Thank you. Cheers to you, my guy. Shout out to the Red Cup gang as well, too, if you're part of it. Shout out to you. Going back to the question I had originally, I was asked, what's the Knicks' next move going to be if they have another move? They do. They obviously do. They have the vet minimum contract they have left. They have to give it to somebody. They had to fill out that last final roster spot they have for a veteran. Unfortunately, I'm gonna drink again before I say this. Unfortunately, early reports, new reports, latest reports indicate that the Knicks, as early as this week, are still waiting on Ben Simmons, waiting on his decision, and waiting to see where he decides to go. They have strong interest in him, and they really want to sign him to this team. So that's likely the next move. Yeah. Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons. Oh. Yes, Yuri, I did hear about that. Yuri asked me if I heard about the new assistant coach the Knicks got, Brendan O'Connor, who they stole from the Los Angeles Clippers. If anybody didn't know, yes, that is true. I will be creating a lot of content on it. That's why I'm not speaking a lot about it on this stream. but I obviously see everything going on in Knicks land. I know the Knicks have obviously come to terms or close to coming to terms with Brendan O'Connor, Clippers assistant. He's going to be the Knicks' top defensive assistant coming under Mike Brown, so I'm very happy to hear about that. I'm going to break down what that means for New York and also what they're going to be doing moving forward in a later video, probably tomorrow. I'm thinking tomorrow about what the Knicks are going to do, what Mike Brown's going to do, who he's looking at, things like that, options. So definitely look toward the channel for new content coming out because I'm going to cover that. But I did hear about it. I'm happy about it. We need more people who will, we need more people who will make this team want to play defense. And Brendan O'Connor, top defensive specialist, he'll make sure this Knicks team is playing defense properly. And the thing about Mike Brown is he doesn't think he can do it all himself. In fact, he knows he can't. That's why when he makes these hires, they're very important because he actually leans on his top assistants and he leans on his offensive and defensive coordinators. So that means practice. Man, is it going to mean something more than it ever has before, especially under Tom Thibodeau. A couple of more comments, and then I'm going to have to end the stream, unfortunately. I didn't want to go for so long. I only had so much time to give you guys, but I wanted to bring out something because when I saw the news, you know how you see certain news? Like some news you don't go live for, right? You don't go live for everything. But then you see this from Shams. I mean, I couldn't create the artwork fast enough to get this live stream out to you guys. And also, I haven't been live for a while. Guilty. I've been enjoying my summer a little bit, you know. Can't lie about that. But when I see something like this, I got to run to it, you know. So appreciate you guys. Let's see here. What else do we have? Meow says, Troy, thoughts on Amir Kofi? The Knicks now by Chat Sports Guy. My guy Marshall, shout out to him. I gotta go back to read what he said. My guy Marshall said his high impact and availability if he were to be able to sign here as a key bench player. He's good. He's good. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying he's not good. He is, but there are other players New York should add before them. Listen, I think the Knicks need a wing, okay? I've been very clear on that. I think they should add Chris Boucher. I've been very consistent on who I want the Knicks to add. However, New York is looking at the veteran guard market. So when you look at that market, you're really only looking at 3 players. And you're looking at Landry Shamet, Malcolm Brogdon, and Ben Simmons. And as of right now, Ben Simmons is leading the charge. Probably following right after him is Malcolm Brogdon. They want somebody who can handle the ball and defend. Brogdon can do that, and Simmons can do that. The only thing is, Simmons is a liability when he's on the floor, and he's going to be coming off the bench. I just don't understand why people who want Simmons don't understand the concept of him coming off the bench and him not being able to offer anything besides rebounding, playmaking, and the occasional drive to the basket. Nobody's going to be near him. They might zone us out so badly. There's no reason to play defense on him. None. I don't get it. I really don't understand it. I get it on paper. On paper, if you've never seen him play and you're reading it on paper, oh yeah, it sounds great. But we've seen him play. We've seen him crumble. And so many people, I want Simmons. I want Simmons. We can't fix everybody. Okay? Some people are not redeemable. I'm sorry. They're not. He had his success. He lost it. He's not getting it back. We need to stop. I wish we would. But unfortunately, New York is going to do what they're going to do. That's all it is. Yes, Great Britain. He has been washed since Philly. Am I the only one that remembers that trade with the Nets? He was supposed to be another guy. He was replacing James Harden. I didn't even notice he was there. He's not built for this pressure. He never was. Let him go to a team that has no expectations. That's why Boston is high on his list, because Boston next season has no expectations. Nobody even expects them to make the postseason. Of course you want to play there. Why not? There's no pressure. I'm done. I'm good. I'm done, man. I'm not speaking about Ben Simmons no more. You see? I was about to cuss. You're not going to make me cuss. I'm not going to cuss. Don't make me cuss. I'm not going to cuss. I won't do. I refuse. A few more questions and then we're going to end the stream. Let's go to Raya. I think that's right? Star Gold, anyways, is the last part of it. Troy, do you think if Giannis really wanted to come to the Knicks that we could do like a player-for-player trade, like Cat for Giannis and somebody else off the bench? I mean, theoretically, it's possible. If you're talking about would the Bucks accept it, I don't think so. Now, maybe there would be a circumstance they would accept it in. If Giannis goes to them and say, I only want to play for the Knicks, trade me there, then maybe they work out a deal to get Giannis here. Possible, but very unlikely that it would just be Karl-Anthony Towns. I would love it to be that. And I think the only way that could happen is if Giannis goes there directly. But I would think even in that situation, they would want more, and I think they would get more. Now, if I'm talking about the current roster for a Giannis trade, and this is only because I believe the Bucks would send more than just Giannis. I believe it would be Cat, it would be Miles McBride, and it would be Mitchell Robinson going to the Bucks. In exchange, New York would probably get Giannis. I don't know who else they would put in that deal. I think Kuzma might make sense, and I don't know how high they are in Kuzma anymore after making the trade, so that could be a possibility, but that's the only thing I can see. I don't know. I know as of right now, Mikal, with this extension, it tells us that Giannis is off the table. There's no reason that Giannis would be available right now for trade and Mikal gets this extension. Not a planet in the world. We all have known for a while, I've reported on it for at least a month or two now, that the Knicks have been waiting, continue to wait, and have always been waiting for Giannis since this offseason started for them. That has been their number one priority. For trades anyways. That's why they haven't made a trade. Why would you when you know who you want and they're not available yet? That's what we're doing right now. Oran, my guy. This is a great move, and I think Mikal will play great under Mike Brown. What about Mitch? Is there a chance he could get traded this offseason? What's his trade value at right now? His trade value right now is sky high, higher than it's ever been before. Will it remain that way next offseason? That's a question mark, because it really all depends on his health. If he has another strong year like he did last season to close out this upcoming season, yeah, there's going to be a lot of people that might want him. But we're talking about in free agency then. New York doesn't want to wait till then. So if you're talking about a trade, that trade might happen at the trade deadline when New York knows that they're going to lose Robinson anyways and maybe have a better understanding of his conditioning, his work ethic, and his overall play at that point in time. That's essentially the halfway point, or maybe a little bit more than the halfway point of the season. So you get to judge your roster, who you have, what you need, your weaknesses, really at that point. So I would expect more movement on a Mitchell Robinson trade at the deadline versus next offseason. If they wait till next offseason and they don't trade Mitch, I would expect Mitch to get re-signed if they don't trade him by the trade deadline, because there's no reason to wait at that point. They're not going to do a sign-in trade. I don't know how that would help him more than trading him at a higher level that he might be at the deadline. So there's going to be a couple of factors that go into it there. Last question. Maybe question statement, whichever. Jose Riviera says, I actually see the opposite. I think OG gets expendable since Knicks locked in Bridges, and I can't get traded until December. Wow. I highly disagree with that in every single way. OG Anunoby is probably the best two-way player in the league, or at least one of them, one of the top two-way players in the league, at least top 5. And you don't trade players like that. Does anybody remember what the Knicks defense looked like without OG Anunoby? I do. I remember it. And I remember what it looked like once OG joined. And I'm excited about how it's going to look like under new head coach Mike Brown. But another reason I know the Wings are safe, Mike Brown even said it himself, I believe. Thank you, Leon, for getting me these wings. And he smiled and waved at the camera while he was speaking to Alan Hahn during his introduction presser on MSG Network. He thanked Leon for his wings. OG Anunoby and Mikal Bridges are likely not going anywhere. If anything, I thought Mikal was more expendable than OG Anunoby after last season. The fact that he got extended, none of our wings are being touched. None of them are being traded. Not now, not this season. You want to talk about future seasons? We can talk about that later. But now, today, right now, headed into next season, none of our wings will be traded. None of them are going to be touched. The only player I can see being traded, and that's because he hasn't been extended yet, and I still don't think it's going to happen, but we'll see, is Mitchell Robinson. It's so hard to extend them because what do you extend him for? His value is arguably higher than it's ever been right now. So if you give him an extension based on this high value, it might be too high in the future because he might not be able to earn that value anymore. It's important to understand where the Knicks are going to move here. But the main part of this stream, why we even had it in the first place, was to break down the fact that Mikal Bridges is a Knick, got paid, and is staying here on a 4-year, $150 million contract extension, taking $6 million less and not waiting till taking $6 million less and not waiting till the next offseason so that way he can give New York more financial flexibility moving forward. That's what you call a team player. You can call him Mickey 5 picks. You can say the Knicks gave up too much to get him. You can say he's not been playing up to the rate that we've all expected him to play at, and those things would be true. But him doing this right here, not saying it makes up for it, but clearly it shows you his true colors and it shows you where he wants to be. And where he wants to be is with New York, with the Knicks. For him, it's New York forever 24/7. And this contract extension, it proves it. He wants to remain a Knick, he wants to stay a Knick, and he wants to win with New York. Talk about sacrifice. Talk about a team player. And clearly, the Knicks, they are full of players that are thinking about the Knicks and the vision of the future. That vision being winning championships. Multiple championships. Brunson gets it. And after this report, after this extension, one thing is clear too. Mikal Bridges, he absolutely gets it. But what about you guys? What do you think about Mikal Bridges signing a 4-year, $150 million contract extension with the Knicks? Let me know in the comment section below, guys, because honestly, I would love to hear from you. But that's going to do it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, go ahead and smash that like button. Leave a comment below. And of course, guys, please subscribe to the channel. Until next time, Knick fans, take care of yourself, your families, and each other. Peace and love.